Hello, I hope everyone is staying safe and staying healthy. My name is Morgan Trau, and I am a reporter and journalist. I am finishing up my college degree at Syracuse University's Newhouse School, but then I am leaving and heading out to report on everything going on today. I am also Dana Trau's daughter, who is the co-vice president of advocacy for NCJW Cleveland. Today, I want to talk about journalism and how you can be a citizen journalist. So I'm bringing in an expert that I know very, very well, who is extremely talented, to help me tell you a little bit about it. I'm here with Simon Perez. Simon Perez is a reporter for KPIX in San Francisco, and he is also a professor at the Newhouse School at Syracuse University. Thank you so much for being here today with me.
No problem, Morgan. I'm looking forward to it.
Great. So I want to talk a little bit about journalism in this day and age, and I want to know why it is so important.
Well, I think in this day and age, and in every day and age, journalism is important because a lot of people say it is the first rough draft of history. And so the daily events that you see getting covered are really the first rough draft. It's the first time we have a chance to document what's going on for future generations to see, whether that's next week or 20 years from now or 100 years from now. We always like to go back and see what TV stations and newspapers wrote about the events at the time. Perspectives change as more information comes out and as the years go on, but there's always got to be the first person to write it down and document it. And I think that's what happens in journalism.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I get that. And I know a lot of people are feeling very overwhelmed right now and are looking to journalists for some sort of answer about everything that's going on. I want to know your opinion on why it's so important to not only document, the real huge news that's going on nationally, but what's going on in your day-to-day home life as an average person.
Yeah, I think it is an interesting idea of being a citizen journalist, right? The networks and the Washington Post and the New York Times have really got more of a global perspective. They are covering the White House, they're covering the United Nations, the World Health Organization. We can find out from those sources what's happening in Germany and Australia and China. But individually within our communities, we're looking to our local paper and our local TV stations. But I think we can even get more granular than that and look at what's happening in our individual lives or in our families' lives. And for that, we can trust ourselves to document those things. And I don't see any reason why somebody couldn't be a citizen journalist and see what's happening in the house where you live. New York Times, I hate to say, and Nora O'Donnell from CBS Evening News are probably not going to come and document what's happening every day in your house, but there's no reason why you can't.
So what do you think are the best tips for people who want to document and want to remember time, but may not know exactly how to do it?
Well, I think there's probably two things, how to do it and then what to say. So let's work on the how to do it first. You can either record just audio or you can record a video. And so I think there are two different ways to do that. For the audio, I would suggest using your cell phone, your smartphone, and do a simple Google search for voice recording apps for iPhone or voice recording apps for Android, and you'll get a long, long list of apps. Pick a free one. There's no need to spend any money. If you pick one of those free ones, download it to your phone, it's really easy. You'll see a big red record button. Just hit that and start talking, and your phone will record you. Stop it, and then that file will be saved onto your phone. That's if you want to talk. If you want to talk and be seen, just like you and I are doing right now, I would suggest downloading the Zoom app to your desktop computer or your laptop or to your tablet, your Surface or your iPad. And so what that can do is there's a free version and a paid version, no need to pay for it again. Download the free version, and that comes with the ability to record. And so it'll record your voice and also whatever the camera on your device is seeing, just like you and I are doing right now. And in fact, we're recording this so that people can watch this later. So it'll be a good example of what it looks like. If you're watching this, this is what you can do. And so that will also get recorded to your desktop. It doesn't record to your phone, but it does record to your desktop. And then that way you've got this type of video, you can just be yourself. It'll just be you or just be me, just one screen up there. But as long as you're looking at the camera, it will record your voice, it will record your video, and then you've got a video version of whatever is happening in your house.
Do you think that there are ways to sort of keep track of the days? Do you think that planning it out is more helpful, or do you think that you should just do it when you feel the passion to do it?
I would probably guard against trying to do something every single day, because I think the content that you want is content that is unique and specific to you. I think, as I mentioned earlier, sort of this global thing about what happened at the White House or what happened in Los Angeles or what happened with your county executive or the mayor of the city where you live, those things are already covered, right? If you want to go back to that archive, you can go to your local newspaper and they've got that. What we don't know is what's happening in your house. So I would wait and be really alert and look out for specific moments that you think are unique to you. And when you get one of those, you get 2 or 3 of those, that's when I would try to record it. So don't really get into the every single day, because that's not really a time capsule. 20 years from now, we're not going to know. So I had this thing of coffee today, and then the next day I had tea, and then the next day I had grapefruit juice, just to give a really mundane example. Those little incremental things we're not so interested in, but we are interested in some of the bigger, more personal stories. And as far as those stories that you want to tell, look, let's face it, in this era, there's a lot of negative feelings and a lot of negative things that are happening because people are dying and people are getting sick. And so those can be the personal moments that you can share, but they don't have to be, right? It doesn't all have to be negative. Be on the lookout for those fun, interesting things that wouldn't have happened otherwise. One example that I've got, 2 examples. One, I can tell you that I have been in touch with my family on the phone more in the last month than I have in the last decade. We call and we do birthdays and births and graduations and all that kind of stuff, but we're just having a weekly call. We sit down for about 90 minutes every Saturday at 11 o'clock, and it just happened only because of this, right? Because we can't go visit each other anymore. And probably my favorite fun example is my 80-year-old mother, who is, and I don't think she would disagree with me, is basically a Luddite when it comes to technology. She doesn't like to try new stuff. She's got an answering machine and she's got a VCR, and then that's it. I sent her my old iPad and I taught her how to use FaceTime, and she loves it. It's fantastic. That's the kind of anecdote the 80-year-old person who, because of coronavirus and because of the shutdown and because of social distancing, had to learn new technology. Oh my goodness, that's a great story that people would want to hear 20 years from
Oh, I mean, I want to hear it now. That's great.
now.
Well,
Good.
thank you so much for being here with me today. Do you have any last thing that you want to add? Any takeaway?
No, other than I really think this is a good idea. Take it easy. There is room for sadness and negativity, but there's also room for positivity and joy. So don't forget to notice those moments too. And documenting what happened in your life individually, I think, is something that is worthy to look out for 20 years from now.
Great. Thank you so much. I know we all really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
And if technology really isn't your thing, I would advise to just use pen and paper. Do 1 journal entry a week or a diary entry every time you feel something in you that says, I really need to remember this. I need to write it down. And something that I love that Simon does is he comes up with takeaways for each of his stories. So for this video, I have some myself. So number 1, record what is personal to you. The national media is covering the global news, so just do what you know. 2, use technology to your advantage. There are so many ways to be a time capsule by recording yourself. And 3, make sure to also keep track of good news too. In a time when we are overwhelmed by scary information, try to remember the things that make you smile. But more tips will be coming your way in the future. Thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe and healthy.